If you're going to EDC Las Vegas in 2023, here's some things you need to know. Finally getting to talk about my EDC 2022 experience. I had some of you guys submit some questions about that experience, and we're just going to get right into it. EDC tickets are going on sale for next year tomorrow, so if you are looking to get a pass and secure that for yourself, definitely make sure you have your alarm set. I think it's 10 a.m. PST. So if you are interested in going, I'm going to share some more details about EDC. This was my 4th time going. I am not sure if I'm going next year. I wasn't even supposed to go this year. I went with a brand, Allegiant Airlines. It was my biggest brand deal to date, which was so awesome to celebrate. And it was a really great time. We did have some bumps in the road, but was it my favorite? I don't really know. So I'm going to go ahead and dive into some of these questions. So we do have 3 categories to go by. We have personal experience, the EDC experience, and then logistics that we're going to go through. Kicking it off, the first question we have, was this year different from others? If so, how? And yeah, this year was different in the sense that I was sent to EDC basically almost free through a brand deal, which was really awesome to partner with a brand on EDC Las Vegas and do a bunch of content. Obviously, it wasn't free because I had to do a lot of work with it, but it's a festival that I know so well. And so getting the content was really fun and easy to do. And it was also different because I went from going to Camp EDC last year and staying there to going back onto the strip. And I was reminded of why I would prefer to do Camp EDC, which I got a couple of questions about that. Man, that traffic time, you guys, is just crazy. You know, we would leave, I would have to go back and look at like timestamps and stuff, but we would leave maybe like 5:30, and it would take us like 2+ hours to get there. And we drove with a premier parking pass. You know, I felt a little bit better about having that option compared to shuttles, compared to Ubering, and compared to just regular parking. And I wanted to wait to talk about this because I didn't want to come across as ungrateful. We got the hookup for EDC Las Vegas, but that travel time does take a lot out of you because you basically, you know, wake up, eat, get ready, and then go. And then you come back, you have like, you know, just about 8 hours of sleep to do it all over again. I did get more sleep than my first EDC when we stayed in a hotel, that's for sure. But I felt like I got way more sleep doing Camp EDC because you don't have to worry about that traffic and travel time. And we had a couple of debacles on night 1. You know, we got there late. We were cold and freezing. Like, tip number 1, I will never not bring a jacket or a pashmina to EDC Las Vegas, no matter what the wind or forecast says. If it's going to continue to be in May, which I believe it will, the weather is always going to be a gamble. So we made a couple mistakes night 1 that normally a veteran would not make, but it is what it is. And I think not staying in Camp EDC also made me feel very disconnected from my friends. Like, we did have time with our friends and we really tried to like enjoy that time with friends, but like I really did not get to hang out with my friends as much as I wanted to. We like barely even took photos and stuff like that. Like, I felt like I just was more immersed into the festival and more immersed with like my friends as well when we camped. So that was a little bit of a difference that I just felt like a little disconnected, you know. Me and my boyfriend Chase had a great time. We also were with his friend Jerry, and then we met up with like our other friends, BB, Emma, whenever we could. So in a very short answer, yes, this year was very different. And also it was just super packed and crowded, which I'll get to that. The next question is, did you prefer EDC in October? And yes, I did. I don't think we will ever have an EDC like that again, where, you know, it's not super hot, it's not too cold, like you can dress very comfortably, but also there was not as much people. This year, I definitely felt the impact of having like a very full festival because they expanded the grounds and you could definitely feel that there was just more people there compared to October. October felt like a breeze. It felt like so easy to walk through the crowd. It felt very clean. It just felt a lot better. So I honestly preferred EDC in October, but that specific year, even if they moved EDC to October, which I don't think they will do because of EDC Orlando, Even if they moved it to October, it would still be super, overcrowded and really compact, of a crowd. Anyone that got to go to EDC in 2021, that was a really special year to go, I feel like. Next one, what's the crazy experience you had at EDC? Oof. I don't know about They May Ever or this past year. Honestly, this year waiting in the merch line for 3 hours was like crazy in the sense of like, why did we do this? We forgot we didn't bring jackets, we didn't bring pashmina. Like, I literally thought about it and I didn't, you guys. And the gag here was that like even across the way from merch, there was a vendor village where we could have gotten pashminas. When we discovered this, we were upset. I would say that was probably the craziest. I'm trying to think of like other moments that were like more like crazy in a hype kind of way. I don't know. There's been so many moments. Yeah, honestly, just the wind on night one takes the cake for like the craziest like kind of festival experience, Next question. If you've camped before, is it as worth it as people amp it up to be? Yes, it is worth the hype, honestly. If I'm going back to EDC, I would try to camp. I would like to do RV camping next time. We'll see how that goes. I don't know when I'm going back because I don't think I'm going next year, but I would definitely camp. It is so worth it. You don't have to worry about the traffic, and like you can make it very comfortable for you if you're not a camper. Like, it was funny telling my boyfriend, I was like, Camp EDC is literally like the nicest camping you will ever do in comparison to like Electric Forest. You know what I mean? Electric Forest, you are really in the trenches, but like EDC makes it a lot comfortable. So that is glamping compared to like other camping festivals for sure. And you're just way more immersed in the community. You don't have to worry about traffic. Like, it's a big plus in my book. Do you ever get post-festival depression? I honestly do not. I don't really partake in those things that would give me that. And I also have done a lot of like mindset and mental work to really focus on those things. I don't drink really anymore either. I didn't drink for all of EDC. And that also really helps with like my anxiety and like some of those types of feelings. So I don't ever really, I used to get really sad about like events and stuff and get really bad FOMO, but now I just know that there's always an event to go to, and I always have something to look forward to. So that kind of gives me some of those good feelings of like, that was a really great time. I'm looking forward to like the next festival, Did you have a single bad vibe? Honestly, I didn't. The only thing that gave me the bad vibe was the wind. That's it. What grounding practices did you use during stressful moments? Yeah, so day one of EDC when we were waiting in the merch line, definitely a lot of breath work. It was very hard. And also just like honoring my emotions and crying, I cried as we were walking to Porter Robinson, but I didn't like bash myself or guilt myself. Like, no, I shouldn't be crying for missing all my artists, We missed like Dennis Cruz, Chris Lake, Eric Prydz. I think those are the 3 sets we missed. And I was like, I will be leaving this line because I will not be missing Porter. So thankfully I got to catch a little bit of Porter, but yeah, I cried. I owned it. I was like, that was a really stressful situation. So definitely like breathing, feeling those emotions that were some of the big things to like ground myself during that moment. I always come back to my breath, take some 3 deep breaths, talk to a friend, talk to someone about it, so I'm not just like bottling it up too. Favorite sets. So thinking back to EDC, favorite sets. I have to go back and look. Who did we even see? Okay, favorite sets. Definitely Charlotte DeWitt. Her day 2 Neon Garden set was really good. KX5 was really good. I can't really say I liked anyone on day 1. We didn't even really see full sets. Grimes was a big surprise. She was a very good set, high energy house set. Loved her. James Hype back-to-back Vintage Culture was also great. The thing with EDC, I felt like I couldn't see a full set, and I also felt like I couldn't fully relax at some of these sets, and there was always something to like think about in terms of like going from one set to the next. That's kind of how I felt this year. So I really was just along for the ride, but definitely had like a top 4 with Charlotte DeWitt, KX5, Grimes, and James Hype back-to-back Vintage Culture. We're definitely going to do a part 2. Next question. What was your favorite moment about this year's EDC? Ooh. Definitely my meetup. So I did one meetup with the Lunchbox fam on day 2. It's always great getting to meet you guys. And then on day 3, I did do a coaching client meetup. So anyone that's been a client of mine, I got to meet, which was just like such a vibe, such a moment. I definitely enjoyed that. And honestly, I'm going to have to shout out my girl, Emma Capotes. She did some really awesome interviews for EDC Las Vegas. And honestly, just watching her do that with like interviewing some of my favorite artists and her favorite artists, like I was just so proud of her and seeing all that footage and everything. I didn't get to see any of it live, but like I could just tell she was so happy, which made me really happy. And it was one of those things where like, you know, she got to have this amazing accomplishment happen for her EDC, and I did as well. So it was just one of those cool kind of things, because we started around the same time as content creators. So to kind of have that moment for both our EDCs is just, it's amazing, you know? Next question is, for having gone at last minute, did you have fun? Yes, I tried my best. We definitely, I think we planned it with a month's notice, which wasn't that hard. Working with the brand, they were able to do the flights and everything, get that all sorted out. But yeah, like I said, I felt a little disconnected from my friends, but when we were together, we did the best that we could to have a good time. Obviously getting sick after is no fun. I did get COVID. That wasn't really fun, which kind of put a damper on things, but all in all, it was a really great weekend. I love Vegas. I love EDC. I will always love it. But I think we will take a break for a little bit, and I like taking breaks from EDC just because you get to come back and see how much has changed. You know, when you're going every year, it kind of starts blending in and looking the same. However, when you take a break, like going from 2018 EDC to 2021 EDC, completely different festivals. So I really like taking breaks and seeing, you know, what's changed, what's new. Like I'm excited to see what they do for like the newer stages or what activations they add. So I like taking breaks. But it was cool because there was still a lot of new things between 2021 and 2022, like different stages, different activations and stuff like that. So that was cool to check out as well. This next one, did you see Chris Lake? Did you make it to Sub Focus? I miss Chris Lake, but it's okay. I've seen that man like 14 times, 15 times. It would have been set 14, and then I just saw him in August, and that would have been set 15. So no, I didn't get to see him. I was not upset, but I did hear great things about that set, but I basically saw it in August. I feel like those sets would have been very similar, so it kind of worked out. As for Sub Focus, yes, I saw the beginning of Sub Focus and Wilkinson at Base Pod. This year's Base Pod was so dope. I really enjoyed the set. We only saw the beginning of it because then we went back for Ben Boomer, however you want to say it. But I did see the beginning of it. I am loving drum and bass a lot lately, so I definitely would love to see Sub Focus again, Wilkinson again. Like, I'm definitely picking up on those vibes. This is going to be the last question, so this will be part 1. Definitely go check out part 2 on the overall EDC experience and logistics from my point of view. So the final question is, what was your favorite part of EDC? And honestly, it was getting the content. I have never been so on top of it with getting festival content, but that's because I was partnered with Allegiant to do it. And it was really fun just creating different ideas, getting the different content out. You know, I love doing on-site festival creation. I did the same thing for Electric Forest, and I feel like it just really helps me to do different ideas and things like that. So from a content creation perspective, that was probably my favorite part, as well as getting to, you know, celebrate such a big kind of brand deal and partnership for me. It was just really great to celebrate that. And I wasn't expecting to see my friends, you know, at EDC this year. So it was really great to get to see, you know, Emma, BB, and all of them. I was going to see them at Electric Forest, so I got to see them a little earlier, which is always nice. But that is going to be it for part 1, answering some of your guys' questions about my EDC experience this year. Make sure you have your alarm set to get your tickets tomorrow. If you are watching this video today, they are going on sale. Let me know if you're going to EDC 2023, and if you have any other questions, feel free to comment it down below. I will be doing some other videos like don't make these mistakes at EDC, as well as like some improvements I would like to see at EDC Las Vegas. So definitely hit that subscribe button to vibe with me. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.